I will be showing you how to wax polish a Royal Enfield. As usual, the tips will be at the end. We will be needing a cotton cloth, wax polish, applicator for the wax polish. If you don't have that, show you a way you can do without it. A tissue paper, some water, and a few drops of oil. Now, a lot of us use the circular motion to polish our bikes like this. It turns out if we use the to and fro motion while polishing, it would be really helpful for the bike as any minuscule scratches that there are on the bike, they won't show up. So we will be using this motion, the to and fro motion. So now I'm dunking the applicator in some water. I'm doing so to moisturize the sponge itself and so that the wax that will be put on the bike, it will have more moisture and would not dry out so easily on the bike. So the applicator is moist, not wet, not soaking wet, it's just moist. See, it's moist, not wet. Okay, let's get started. Now if you don't have an applicator, what you can do is use your hands. Just remove any rings that you have on your hand. They should be clean and they should be a little moisturized from the water. Now take the blob of wax and put it on your hands. Okay, rub them up like this, just like that, a to and fro motion again. I think with the hands it's easy to polish up bikes. I just think that. The rest is up to you. Now under no circumstances you should be polishing this area with the wax. This is rubber, pure rubber, not plastic. Now I'll leave the bike like this for about 15 minutes to let the polish work. About 15 to 20 minutes is a good option. And go drink a glass of lassi or something. So it's been 20 minutes. Now let's clean up the polish. Again, we have to use the to and fro motion, nothing else. Bike is polished. What we're going to do is use the oil. I'm not going to use a tissue paper. I'm going to use the cloth itself and just dab it a little. Now what we're going to do is all the rubber parts, this and the indicator black parts, I'm going to clean it with that. If you use wax on it, this happens, that white and black thing, it's really not that nice to look at. Just take it and rub it in. So bike is properly polished. Time for some. Now a lot of you might be thinking why I'm using a cotton cloth, not a microfiber cloth. Well, people borrowed them from me and I never got them back. Now, if you're using a cotton cloth like me, use your innerwear, or you can use a cotton t-shirt, but make sure they're 100% cotton, not a poly blend or a synthetic blend, as a synthetic blend would muck up your bike in a real bad way. They'll put scratches, minute scratches, which in long term are very bad, and they won't soak any water or any other residue. A cotton cloth will soak out any water or oily residue from your bike. If you don't want to use your own clothes, you can use your siblings. I generally do that also. Now, in terms of wax, earlier I have used a silicone based polish. It didn't really work for me. I transferred to my Carnauba wax. It has a lot better appreciation in the market and with the people who have been using it also. Now there are about 3 or 4 brands. Choose the one you like the most, or it has a general appreciation in the market. Choose that one. Or with the wax, always close the lid tightly at all times after you have used it. If you don't close the lid, two things will happen. One, it will dry out. Polish dries out. There's no use using it. The other thing that happens, because it's carnauba wax, that's a natural substance. It can grow a mold like this. Now, if mold grows, just remove the upper layer and use the polish. Albeit if the polish is not dried out. Now, in terms of the applicator, it's really is just a soft sponge. Now, if you don't have the applicator with you, use your hands. I generally just use my hands to do these things. They work really well. You get a feel where there's less wax or less polish, and you can apply more there. If you want to use, you can use a soft sponge that you have at home, or you can use a cloth, I think, a cotton based cloth. But generally, use your hands. Now, in terms of oil, I'm using oil because I don't know anyone who has recommended me using any other substance or a product. If you know a product that can be used in cleaning the rubber part of the bikes, that would be really appreciated. Other than that, you can use any oil, be it mustard oil, refined oil, or olive oil. It's up to you. So you saw my way of waxing the Royal Enfield. If you have a better way of doing so, just write it down in the comments section. If you have any queries or questions, write them down in the comment section also, or you can tweet them at Vishav160. That's VISHAV 160. I'll put a link in the description also. Ride safe.